The Biden administration says 2.2 million doses of the COVID-19 vaccine were given out throughout the country as of yesterday. The White House says it is the single highest day total since May. The news comes as cases of the Omicron variant continue to spread. Some evidence suggests it may spread more quickly than the Delta variant. However, scientists say it's still unclear if Omicron, the latest variant, is more dangerous than previous versions of the virus. 1 minute after the hour, more states in the U.S. are confirming cases of the Omicron variant.
The first case was confirmed in San Francisco on Monday. Now other cases have been found in Minnesota, Hawaii, and New York. Los Angeles County also reporting a case. Several of the patients had recently traveled, but the Hawaii Health Department says its case is from community spread. Meanwhile, President Biden is expected to extend his transportation mask mandate through March. It's a bit to address concerns over the Omicron coronavirus variant. The mandate requires travelers to wear masks in airports, on airplanes, buses, trains, and boats. Biden first signed this order requiring masks for travelers shortly after taking office in January. This latest extension comes after the first case was confirmed in the U.S. And speaking of travel, the news of the new variant comes at a time when many people are gearing up to see loved ones for the holidays.
Yeah, and as Leslie Brinkley shows us, that's not stopping some people from moving ahead with their travel plans.
1 week ago on Thanksgiving Day, no one was talking about Omicron. Now it's on everyone's radar, especially as people anticipate flying to see family for the holiday season.
There's people that are going to travel no matter what.
Christopher Dennis has worked in the luggage and travel business for 40 years. Among customers he talks to, he senses travel within the U.S. will carry on.
You sense more hesitancy for people to do international?
Yes, definitely, because they can't afford to get stuck somewhere in quarantine for X amount of days. They're taking a risk.
You have to realize that when you're traveling internationally, all those rules about quarantines, testing, vaccination status, that could all change at a moment's notice.
Domestic travel is likely to be stable by comparison, but Dr. Patel told me that it is possible that some states could reimpose restrictions or requirements like Hawaii did. Some are glad they're staying close to home.
Yes, I would like people to stay at home, be careful, respect others.
It's very difficult because I know it has economic implications.
But others say Omicron is not derailing their holiday plans.
I mean, there's always going to be new variants, so I'm not going to stop life and seeing family just because of it.
So we actually do have plans to go out of state for the holidays, and we're going to be with family members. We've just made it a point we are vaccinated. I have my children who are now able to be vaccinated.
Will they change what they do in airports and on planes?
I probably will be a little bit more uptight with my children, making sure we're washing our hands and sanitizing and having our masks on.
What are you going to do? As long as the virus exists, it's going to morph. It's going to change.
President Biden is unveiling his plan to curb a possible winter COVID surge. And here's what the president had to say, at least a bit of it, during a visit to the National Institutes of Health.
My plan I'm announcing today pulls no punches in the fight against COVID-19, and it's a plan that I think should unite us.
Now, the president's plan calls for more vaccinations, more booster shots for eligible adults and children. The plan also calls for distributing COVID treatment pills around the country once they're approved and expanding free at-home testing. The plan does not call for closing more businesses.
Counties in Northern California are taking action now that the Omicron variant is spreading across the U.S.
Sacramento County public health leaders tell us they don't have any local cases at this point, but overall, people infected with the Omicron variant appear to be younger and show milder symptoms. They also say that Omicron has more mutations than previous variants, and getting vaccinated, once again, the best form of protection.
We know that there's an increased demand right now for people seeking vaccination appointments.
In the next couple of weeks, we will be able to know more about the efficacy of our vaccine with the Omicron variant.
New data shows 60% of people showing up to county vaccination clinics are getting their booster shots, while 40% are getting the first or the second dose of the vaccine.
And Dr. Kasiri also told us Sacramento County has a new capability to test for different variants of COVID-19, including Omicron. And as Sacramento ramps up its efforts to spot this new variant, COVID cases in California continue to trend downward. 4,800 new cases were reported. The 7-day average case rate is at 9.2 per 100,000 people. This graph shows you the numbers since the start of the pandemic. Hospitalizations are also trending down after a spike last month. There are about 3,500 COVID patients in hospitals across the state right now.
The California State Health Department says vaccines are the best tool against COVID and severe illness. From November 14th to November 20th, unvaccinated people were 7.2 times more likely to get COVID than fully vaccinated people, again, according to the state. They also say unvaccinated people were 14.8 times more likely to die from COVID.